All right, Gene. Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Where my mom's at? Where my mom's wearing thongs, hitting bongs at? Raising kids, cleaning shits, need a long nap. Where my mom's at?
Where My Mom's At podcast with Christina P.
Oh, you guys, I'm so excited. Very special episode today. With me is my favorite, Kati Morton. Oh,
It's so fun to be back.
it is so great. You're so wonderful. I discovered you on YouTube. You're a licensed marriage and family therapist,
Yes.
MFT, and you make these great videos that have just helped my life. You cover everything and anything. And
Pretty much. Anything people ask, whatever you want to know. If I can ask a colleague or know it myself, I'll make a video.
She makes a video. And so check out her YouTube channel, Kati Morton, Katimorton. And she also has a fantastic book called Are You Okay?, which I have on my nightstand. I have the hard copy. I advise you to buy it just because I like to be old school and read and take it with me on airplanes.
You can highlight it and stuff.
That's right. Make notes in dog ear. And
exactly.
that book really was so helpful to me. What inspired you to write about that one?
I think being online for 8 years and just hearing the questions people had, it's like we didn't even know what to ask. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people don't talk enough about the process of therapy or what it's like or what's a good therapist or a bad therapist, because there are some shitty ones out there. And so it was just that kind of stuff. I thought, if I already know this, why does it have to be hidden, something that people don't talk about? I feel like books are either too woo-woo self-helpy, no offense,
Yes.
or they're made for clinicians like me and they're too just heady. Doesn't make sense to you.
Yeah.
And it's like, where's the middle where it's just like, hey, this is what you need to know, and this is like
Yeah.
in common language.
Yes, 100%. Because I've read both of those. Like I'm not into the woo woo. Like I don't need to know your spiritual stuff. And then either those clinical books from like, whoops, I just downloaded the wrong thing. Like I don't know what any of this Latin shit means. But that book is great if you're somebody who you're not sure if you should go into therapy or what is normal to feel. And, what is it to be depressed or whatever? This is a great book. This is a great guide, I think, for that. Is that accurate,
Yeah,
would you say?
that's accurate. And even goes through toxic relationships, communication styles, things like that.
Oh, get your life, Kati. So before we get into, I'm just going to plug my dates real quick at the top, get the business out of the way. January 25th, Burbank. January 30th through the 1st, Houston. I'm doing Tampa, San Francisco, Pasadena at the Ice House, Doral, Florida, Miami Improv, Dallas, Texas, New York City, Des Moines, Phoenix, Cleveland, San Antonio. Ticket links are at Christina P online.
Wow.
I know. I'm
You're
gearing
busy.
up. I'm going to shoot something in the summer, and I'm so stoked. Oh, this episode of Where My Mom's At is brought to you by Sattva Luxury Mattress, SAATVA.com for your mattress. I'm telling you, I've been sleeping on it. A Sattva mattress now, maybe going on 8 years. I got the luxury firm king size. Why? Because we had no money and we wanted a great mattress. And I love this company so much. I contacted them and asked if we could talk about it on Your Mom's House. And now we've been with them for years. It's just that good. And I also like the Lumen Leaf brand. That's the memory foam. That's the one I sleep on right now every night. Unbeatable quality, organic cotton, made in the USA. They come to your house, they set it up like in minutes. And the buying process is really easy. You get a 90-day in-home trial. If you don't like it, send it back. But I highly doubt that's going to happen. Great customer service. Sattva. People ask me out on the streets, is it true? Is it true that you sleep on a Sattva mattress? Is it true that you love this company? 100%. SAATVA.com. Check it out. Try it out if you're looking for a mattress. Okay, bye. So I'm glad you're here because I get a lot of questions from people that are just above my pay grade. And I'm a comedian. I cannot advise people.
You're very smart too. You're very psychologically minded. So.
Well, that's a good decade in psychotherapy.
It'll do that to a lady,
Yeah, so you were talking about Annie. If you guys haven't seen it yet, Dr. Drew did a Dr. Drew After Dark with our own Annie, and he hasn't made a brown all of November. He didn't take a dump. And
Crazy.
You were saying that you think it might be control issue.
Yeah, kind of a coping skill. I'd be like, I'm interested. I have
Yeah.
lots of questions.
Yeah. So where would you go with Annie if we could sit you down with him?
First, I'd go into kind of like abuse. I don't know. I mean, just guessing, right? Like asking questions. So sexual abuse in boys tends to be like the no brown comes out of that. Or if there's any kind of emotional abuse, like shouting, yelling in your home, things out of your control are out of control. What can you control? Your body. And women, like girls, tend to go towards more food.
Yes, eating
over,
disorders.
under, exercising, not stuff like that. But boys tend to, like, they might start wetting their bed again, holding their poo, things like that.
Interesting.
And it's not like
Fascinating.
all guys do that and all girls, but that just tends to be the
That's
norm.
the guideline, the norm. Fascinating. Yeah, I felt it was a control issue as well. If I might diagnose Mr. Annie, I sensed it because I have a phobia of vomiting, and I've worked through it in therapy. I did EMDR. I did talk therapy, psycho. I've done it all because there was a specific incident that was very traumatic around me vomiting as a child. So now let me start with my first question to you. How do I, when my children do get sick,
Yeah, because they will.
and they do, and they have, and it was a nightmare, and I puked for the first time in like 20 years.
Oh,
And
no.
October 25th of 2019 is when it happened.
I'm sorry.
It was good for me because it showed me that it's not that big a deal.
And that you can deal with it. It's
And
okay.
100%.
Nothing terrible happened. Your head didn't explode. Your life didn't get ruined. You're
It
okay.
didn't. It was more the anxiety about puking that was greater than the event itself.
That's always what it is.
Yeah, you're wiring yourself. So how do I not pass on my irrational fear and phobia to my children? How do I not show them that I'm freaking out a little bit inside when they get sick?
You kind of have to hold it inside and be like,
Yeah.
oh, we get sick. That happens sometimes. You're just normalizing the behavior. Like maybe after we eat, because kids will do this. They'll eat a lot, overeat, and then they go run around like crazy maniacs. And then they like, ugh.
Yes.
I don't know why that happened. Ugh.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's okay. It's like when they fall and you don't want them to like lose their shit. And so
Yeah.
you're like, you're okay. You're okay. Let's go.
Yeah.
No blood. We're good. You know?
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing. Where you're like, oh, that happened. Okay, we'll clean it up. Go sit down. Let's calm ourselves down.
And then, hey, this is normal. Also, because my kids get sick in the middle of the night, and so they'll puke all over their cribs. So I want to introduce the idea of
Do you make
like,
Tom clean that up?
yes, and he knows like that is his domain. But how do I introduce like a puke bowl when they're sick? I mean, is that too much?
I think
Because they tend to puke more than once if it's a stomach flu. I don't want them just puking on their beds, right?
Yeah, I
night.
mean, when they're little, though, it's not like you...
No, babies are different. I'm talking like 4-year-olds.
Yeah. I mean, just, you don't know if they'll do it, but maybe on the second puke, they'll get it.
Right.
But you just put it by their bed and be like, since you're not feeling well, remember, we tried to puke in the bucket.
Okay.
Put it in, and I'd get like a,
Substantial. But I wouldn't introduce the puke bucket on a day when he's not sick, right?
No.
No, just like...
It'd be like it only comes out, because then they're associating it with, I don't feel good, mama brings the bucket, I try to puke in the bucket. It's like,
Right.
it's almost classical conditioning.
Right. See, but
Puke in the bucket.
But my crazy brain, my OCD brain goes, better introduce it now before they do get sick. But then I go, oh, wait, but that's going to freak him out. That's going to...
Well, and then he might think he always needs a puke bucket.
Oh. Right, like
He's
every
like
night.
25. He has
gotta
a girlfriend. He's like, here's my puke bucket.
Right.
Just in case I get anxious if I don't have it.
That's so funny. Oh my God, you're right. Then I make it part of his like nightly routine, and he's in college, and his roommate's like, "What's that?" It's just my puke bucket. I have to have it in case.
You didn't drink tonight, but I mean, I just don't know. Shit happens.
That's hilarious. I didn't think of it that way. Okay, you're right. Okay, so that's overkill. It's overkill. Yeah.
Yeah. I just pictured this like 24-year-old.
100%. 100%. He's in Adob's age. He's a 30-year-old man. And he's like, well, I got to do this. I don't know.
I gotta have my puke bucket.
Oh, shit. Okay. Because I do get a little out of control when my kids get sick. And I've had a lot of people write into saying that they feel You know, I go into overdrive because when I got sick, it meant my mother could have more control over me, and she was borderline, so it was like a nightmare. So I always associate like things. I don't want to be out of control. That's a lack of control when the kids.
Do you
I have
poop
control
regularly?
issues. I'm such a good pooper. Thank you for asking. You just made my day with that question.
I figured.
I poop. I did twice this morning. I'm a good pooper.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm a good pooper too.
Yeah. Every morning? What's
Every
your
morning.
routine?
Every morning, and then probably after coffee, breakfast kind of thing.
That's when I like to do it. Yeah, right after. I like the white lightning. I drink a lot of coffee. I get freaked out, and then I shit. Do you fart in front of your husband?
Not really. I mean, it's not like I pretend I don't or anything, but
Yeah, you guys aren't big into that.
no.
Do you poop with the door open or closed with your husband?
Usually closed, like
Yeah.
90% of the time.
Boundaries.
Peeing open, I don't really care.
Yeah, okay. Well, on to the most important question
Yes.
that I've received. Have you been finger banged on a ride at Disneyland?
No, I hate Disneyland.
What?
I know.
Why?
Very unpopular opinion.
No, I get you. I'm on that too.
He doesn't like. Why? Tell me what you don't like.
I don't like lines.
Of course, yes.
I don't really like screaming children.
True.
And I don't like paying $200 in a day to do something.
That's true.
There's so many other ways I would spend my money.
Wow, interesting. I like this.
So no, because I barely go. Like
Okay.
I've gone there like maybe 3 times and hated it every time.
Okay, well then you're not getting.
No. When I was 6 years old, I liked it though.
So you did.
I went
okay.
with my mom when I was 6 and loved it.
Yeah.
But that's when you're supposed to go.
It's for children.
It is.
It is. And
I always
do-
feel bad for the parents. I'm like,
Yeah. Well, I do find it odd when I had a neighbor once who was one of those Disney goers where they have the annual pass.
Yes.
And they're adults.
I have friends like that.
Oh, geez.
I know.
They're your friends?
Not, I mean,
Yeah.
lose that term
Acquaintance.
loosely.
Okay,
Mhm.
let's get into it. So our first questions, I asked you guys to write in. Thank you so much. We have so many great questions for Katie. Let's start with the first one. This is a pretty long one, this top one, but I wanted to distill it down to the basic question that everybody should know. But basically the gist is, how do you talk to your children about avoiding sexual abuse? It used to be called stranger danger.
I remember that. Stranger danger.
Stranger danger. And don't let anybody touch you where your bathing suit covers.
Yes. Good advice.
Yeah. And so what age do I start talking to my children about that? And how do you phrase it?
I think, I mean, it's tough about like age. Usually 4 or 5, they understand.
Yes.
That's easy. Even at 3, I mean, they're making full sentences. You can have conversations with them ish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think it's fair to start mentioning it. And I think the easiest way is if you're changing them, you say something like, no one changes you, but, you know, mommy, daddy, and sometimes babysitter or whatever, however you want to phrase it. Start talking about it that way and say, because it's very dangerous and you don't want anybody to touch you here. And it's the thing that I think parents worry about, how they're going to phrase things, or what are they going to think? Am I going to make them have some mental illness later because I said this thing, or have some weird fetish or
Yes,
whatever?
100%.
I figured that.
Yeah. What if you're like, it's very dangerous and it's very dirty and you should never touch yourself. Like, you don't want them to think that other
Be
people
like,
should
masturbation
never.
will make me go blind.
Yeah. Like, I don't want him to think that no woman should ever touch him when he's an adult.
So it's just talking about it like, you know, in an honest way. And I know people are like, oh, but you should tell kids like it should be very kid language. Kids, you don't need to talk to them like, maybe you're wee-wee and you whatever.
That is my pet peeve, by the way, is the wee-wee and your hoo-ha and your meow. Like, it's a penis, it's a vagina. What's the difference? Just fucking say it.
Yeah, call it what it is.
Yeah. So anyway.
So yeah, you however you're comfortable. I would just say don't let people touch you there, you know, because that's your private parts and that's a safety thing. And I wouldn't talk about dirty. I would make sure you don't say anything about dirty or bad or wrong. It's just like you have to be safe. And we don't want anybody touching you here because that can really hurt you. You know? And I would just continue the conversation and always say, if you have any questions, ask me. It's okay to ask mommy about this. Or if someone does touch you this way, tell me about it because I'd like to know.
Yeah.
And don't make it seem scary, because sometimes when kids think that we're worried or we're scared, they don't want to bother us. Kids can worry, I'm making it into something, you know, they make their own story. So be like, you know, you can always tell me.
Yeah.
And have no judgment about things, you know, like if you're going swimming with this group, you know, nobody touches you there, remember, and tell me if something happens that makes you uncomfortable.
So it's more like not nonchalant, but more like, yeah, just tell me, let me know if that happens. Not like, you got to tell mommy, okay? If you fucking tell mommy, I will kill that son of a bitch. I will rip his dick
That's
off.
what's going on in your head.
Yeah.
But outside you're like, just tell mommy.
Yeah. La, 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 la. Yeah, keep
Exactly.
it light. Keep it light.
And then I'd bring it up almost like the puke bucket.
Yeah.
When, when you're changing them or when they're getting a bathing suit or when you're going somewhere, it's easy to bring up again. Be like, remember, nobody touches you there unless it's okay with you.
It's okay. Yeah.
So you tell me.
It's interesting. And what you're right about the levity tone, especially with, my older boy, the other one's 18 months old, doesn't really.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
He's not there yet. But he had an ear infection the other day. Like, buddy, does your ear hurt? And it was like, yeah. And then later he was like, no, it's fine. It's fine. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I must have overreacted.
Mm-hmm. They do that. I don't know. I don't really know why. I would assume it's because the connection, they don't want to upset you.
Yeah.
And if they see you upset, they're so good at reading us.
Yeah.
It's so exhausting. But that's why we try to keep it light.
Yeah.
And mention it over time. You don't have to do all the teaching in one thing. This isn't just one conversation.
Right. Oh, right. That's a really good point.
So just opening the door for a conversation.
Interesting point, because I think a lot of us are so uncomfortable with that discussion that you go, I just want to get in, want to get in and want to get out. I don't want to talk about this. It's like sex ed.
You can't just be like, take birth control, wear a condom. It's like over time.
Right.
I'm sure you're making out with people and, you have to, I know it's uncomfortable, but you got to do it.
I don't feel, it is not uncomfortable for me. I don't know.
That's good.
I don't feel uncomfortable. But
some
yes,
people
it
feel that
generally is, yes. Americans are very uptight about their genitals.
Super uptight.
And about dirty.
Naughty.
Yeah, naughty, yes, 100%. Okay, so let's keep in the sexual vein.
Okay.
Peeing in front of your kids.
Oh, yeah,
Is that traumatic for them?
No.
Is it okay if mom pees in front of her two boys?
Also, we don't have like something hanging out.
I don't show them my vag.
Yeah.
I cover it.
But they're still so little.
It's not traumatic. Mm-hmm. It's not weird to be like,
no.
Is it too much information for them to see me urinate?
I think it's fine.
Okay.
I mean, and yours aren't even that old. I think maybe since they're boys, 5, 6, 7, that's starting to get a little, like, don't be naked in front of them at a certain point where they can, like, poke and ask and then tell people they saw that.
Right. Inappropriate.
Yeah.
So nudity in front of children, you say the cutoff is like 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think so.
I think that's fair. I mean, for the opposite sex.
Aha.
For the same sex, I think a lot of ways, like, especially for like your boys to be with Tom and be like, why do you have hair on your chest? They can ask questions about what they think their body is too.
Yes.
And that can be in some ways very helpful, but I don't think that should go until any age either.
12.
Yeah. That's,
because my mother was always naked in front of me growing up, and it was so disgusting to me as a child. I really hated it. Mm-hmm. But she was also TMI. She'd be like, this is a douche. You put the douche in your vagina. And she had
God.
like it's too much information. And she had a fire crotch. She had like fire red pubes, and I was like,
you're like, what is this?
You are so nasty. Yeah,
not like a regular mom, a cool mom.
And she would always be getting ready naked, like putting her makeup on in the nude and doing her hair. And
that's too much.
It doesn't feel good to watch your parents, so that's why.
Yeah, but it's okay when they're little.
Yeah,
in general. And it's okay for them to ask questions. I think
100%.
The body shaming starts from a young age. So it's like,
talk more about that.
But it's like, if a child asks you, because they're always curious, like, what's that? How come this looks this way? Blah, blah, blah. And it's okay for them to ask, be like, oh, that's a boob, or those are my balls, or whatever. Yeah. I mean, it sounds, but the less we are like, that's a naughty, you don't, dirty, naughty things you shouldn't say. It's more just like matter of fact.
Yes.
What is it called? What does it do? Right. Why is it there?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
So I think doing that until, 5 or 6, depends on the child. Sometimes, boys are different than girls. One child will be different than another, where they're more developed or more verbal, or, and you've already start to feel like it's uncomfortable. Then you just aren't nude in front of your child. But
yeah,
I think same as like any kind of conversations, keeping it light, being honest, calling it what it is, and no shame about it.
No shame. Just a neutral tone as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like
key.
I know, to being a parent, man. It's like keeping it neutral.
Is that right? You being serious?
Pretty much. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's neutral, open to conversation and questions. And then we don't have all those like worries. And what if I upset somebody? And oh my God, that's a dirty, naughty thing. I mean, I'm not saying parents are the only ones that like mess us up or anything like that.
No.
But they can.
It's easy to, because you put your own anxieties and fears into your children that way. Like like we're moving pretty soon. So it's always like, oh God, I don't want to traumatize the kids. How can I not, and I'm doing all these things. We visited the house already. I'm gonna put together a book of his previous home,
old home, yeah,
and the new home, and then I'm gonna take him to his new school tomorrow. We're gonna walk. Like I'm like very vigilant because I don't want to traumatize. But then I'm like, he's gonna get traumatized over it. There's so many things.
Moving stressful, anyways.
Yes.
It's one of the top 10 stressors.
Yeah, it's
in
terrible.
life.
Yeah.
So it's just it's being open to the conversation, being like, it's stressful for me, it's hard, this is a lot, is it a lot for you, are you okay, just checking in, being honest, it's okay.
Yes, and also admitting to your children that maybe you have feelings that are not perfect, and I'm scared, or mommy is having, I don't know what you say, anxiety.
You can say, yeah, mommies feel stressed, anxious,
it's stressful. Yeah.
There's a lot of things to do when we move.
Yeah.
Think of all your toys we have to pack up. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And then you have to go to a new school. Is that scary? Or are you excited?
Yeah.
Letting them feel however.
Yeah. And naming feelings and stuff. Okay.
Yeah. You're doing great. Don't worry.
We're doing it. Yeah, I'm doing it.
You're doing
and you know what I always think I have to remind myself is that my children will not be traumatized the way I was. Like,
No.
There's no way I could fuck them up as much as my parents did me.
Because you're not like, this is a douche.
No.
I put it in a vagina.
Right? Like, I'm not a borderline. I'm not alcoholic. I
Nope.
cannot possibly do as much damage as my own parents did.
No. That's like those photos, because I watch your stuff. The photos of your dad on the Christmas tree with his shirt off.
Please talk about
what
this.
the actual fuck.
Yeah. You tell me.
Well, he's an egomaniac. He was a narcissist or something because he needed attention. He needed to show how svelte he was. Like, that's a strange thing.
For the Christmas card.
Yeah, with your children.
Was your child... Talk about no paternal.
So many
There's the photograph we're talking about.
It's just, everybody knows it's wrong.
Yeah, and you know instinctually. And look at me. I'm just trying to put it together.
Oh, you're just like, is this my life? What's happening?
Why is he naked? I remember
Oh,
being
your
like...
Cabbage Patch doll.
I
had a Cabbage Patch doll.
What was his name? Her name? I don't want to gender.
Farcia Gilberta.
Did you name?
No, it came with the birth certificate.
Was it from like Brazil or something?
I don't have any idea. And I thought that was the strangest name. And
Yeah.
my mom was like, different people have different names.
Farcia?
Farcia Gilberta. Maybe she was...
Farcia Gilberto. I want to say
Maybe she was Russian?
Portuguese.
I don't know.
Yeah, narcissist, 100%. I'm thinking wants to show off the bod. I'm thinking has a tan in December. That's hard to do.
Yes.
He's showing everybody in the old country. Look at me. I got a tan. I live in LA.
He doesn't even have shoes on.
No, it's casual. It's LA, man. We live in California. You know what's wild? And I think about this house. You see that fireplace behind him? He would go to sleep, and I would be that age, and I would play with the fire. I would be up like
he wouldn't put it out before he went.
no, boo boo, no. He was and then fall asleep. Yeah, and I would like find newspapers to throw into that, and I would just
You could have caught the house on fire.
hell yes, I could have, but I didn't.
Hey.
I learned. I learned how to play with fire. This is unreal. Look at this fucking house. Look at this guy. All right.
I mean,
Yeah, nothing's worse than this, is what you're saying.
you're not going to do anything like that.
No,
Yeah.
this is insane.
You're already like leaps and bounds.
leaps and bounds. Like they're gonna have their own issues. It's just not
Yeah.
gonna be
No.
like mine,
No.
or I need to go see a therapist 5 times a week. Okay. Bombas, bombas, bombas. I'm wearing them right now. Oh, I love their ankle socks. I swear to God, these are the best socks. I've been wearing them for years. And I love the way they fit. I love the colors. I even ordered a pink pair with some sparklies on them. I know. How often are you thinking about your socks? If you're like me, I didn't think about them very much until I recently discovered socks that changed the way I think about socks forever. Bombas. They're so comfortable. They're made from super soft natural cotton. Every pair comes with arch support, a seamless toe, and a cushioned footbed that's comfy but not too thick. Again, colors, patterns, lengths, styles. They look great in the gym, office, and about town. Bombas are what feet daydream about. And here's the best part. I've loved this company for so long, and this is really one of the coolest things. For every Bombas purchase you make, Bombas donates a pair to someone in need. How awesome is that? Buy your Bombas at Bombas, that's BOMBAS.com/WMMA today and get 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/WMMA for 20% off. Bombas.com/WMMA. I swear to God, I'm wearing them right now. You know, whether you have a brand new pup or an old friend, an Embark breed and health test is the key to unlocking your dog's unique breed mix and genetically informed health needs so you can help your pup live its healthiest, happiest life. Now, my mother-in-law rescued a gorgeous little pup. We've been wondering what the heck it is. Pablo is his name. And we did the Embark test. And are you ready? You want to know what Pablo is, Nadav?
I do.
Mix of Brussels Griffon, which we're familiar with, my little breed, and mini pin. Isn't that fascinating? So now when someone goes, what is your dog? You can go, well, Brussels and mini pin. And what's great about that is you learn about your dog, what their preferences are, maybe some genetic stuff that can possibly go wrong. So it provides your vet with the best medical care for your dog. Embark is the only DNA dog test that performs research grade DNA testing. So unlike other places you may have heard that do this kind of testing, the Embark DNA dog test is the most comprehensive kit on the market, looking at over 250 breeds and 170 genetic health conditions to help you best care for your dog. Try it. It's very simple. You just get a little saliva from their adorable mouths and you mail it in, and that's it. Embark is more than twice as precise as the competitor, and learn about your dog's behavior, and to help it, you can also help train your dog better when you know a little bit about the breed behavior. So right now, Embark has an exclusive offer you can't get anywhere else. Go to embarkvet.com now and use promo code WMMA to save 15% off your dog DNA test kit. Visit embarkvet.com and use promo code WMMA to save. Embark, EMBARK, vet.com. Promo code WMMA. Thank you. So here's some other listener submitted. Do you want to do voicemails for Katie? Can we start with that?
Yeah,
we'll do like one voicemail, one reading. So that
I like that.
Vary it up.
I like it.
Hey, Mommy Christina, big fan of the show. Shout out to you, Mommy Christina, and Katie. You guys are actually both the reason I figured out my mom has BPD, which prompted my entire healing process. So thank you. For my own sake, I had to cut off contact with my mom about a year and a half ago, and I've been seeing a therapist and healing and grieving from that ever since. My therapist and I both agree that I'm at a place in my healing where I can reach out and maybe try to have a relationship again. But I'm really scared I'm going to get my heart broken all over again. So just wondering if you guys had any advice or tips on what to expect or what to prepare for. Thanks, Mommy. Spits on me, baby.
Oh, man. I mean, there's the part of me that understands, right? It's her mom. You wish things were different. And that grieving process can take years. And there'll be different things you grieve through different parts of your life when you're going through different processes that you'd like to talk to your mom about, potentially, right? But just because we've changed does not mean they've changed. And I think doing all this work and then like trying to I just cannot. I mean, I know their therapist probably has the best of intentions, but my response would be, well, you've made great progress. Let's keep doing that. Yeah. You know, and if your mom reaches out, that's a different thing. Then we can at that point decide whether or not that's something that you want to engage with. But to try to
it's sticky.
It's very sticky. And I don't know. I mean, this sounds bad to say, but I'd need to know already before even thinking about this that my mom was in therapy too.
Oh, and good luck getting a borderline into therapy, right? I mean,
they love it more than narcissists.
The borderlines...
They actually like therapy. No, I'm being honest.
The borderlines like it more than the narcissists.
Narcissists are the least likely to try to get help.
Well, nothing's wrong with them.
Everything's wrong with everybody else. What are you talking about? But borderlines, you know, it's more born out of trauma. It's a deal. They're trying to cope. Everything feels so intense, so they don't know how to not lash out. But if they understand it and do some DBT, dialectical behavior therapy, they can better manage. So if she was in therapy, I do believe that she could get better and it could be okay. It's still, you know, tricky, but if we don't know that,
yeah, then you're just going back to the same cycle,
Yeah.
essentially, and it's very painful. And I think you really hit the nail on the head when your first statement was it's a grieving process.
Yeah.
And so much of what the work, at least I've been doing in therapy, is grieving the parents I
Yes.
never had. So meaning, like, yes, my mother's physically dead, but you're also grieving the loss of the relationship you wanted.
What could have been,
What
what the
could-
dream of it.
But there is no what could. And people always ask me, don't you feel so guilty that you didn't speak to your mother the last 8 years of her life? I go, yeah, but you guys are assuming that this was a normal functioning person and that we shared a reality and that there could have been a relationship. There was no could have been.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
hard. And I feel like all of us, regardless of having like parents with severe mental illnesses or not, we all have to grieve the loss of like, our dad knows everything. He can fix anything.
Yeah.
Mom can make everything right. We have all these like beliefs in this like dreamland, and the death of the dream is hard.
Yes.
Period. Compound that with erratic behavior, lashing out, the things I'm sure your mom shouted in anger and like that
Yes.
just it's terrifying. Yeah. So there's like the trauma with that.
Yeah.
Then there's the grief of like, why is everybody else's mom not seem like my mom?
Yes.
You know, and it's hard. But yeah, be careful. I wouldn't engage just yet.
Nor would I having been through it, I have to tell you that, like Katie said, unless she's in therapy and actively working on changing herself, you're just going back to a harsh relationship. It's more stress on you.
It really is. And
Yeah.
if you really are like hell bent on this and it's something you got to do, bring her into therapy. That's it. I wouldn't see her outside of that.
That's an excellent
It
suggestion.
would contain it.
That's an excellent suggestion. Meet her with your therapist and you guys can decide how to go forward with the relationship if you
can. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the narcissistic parent then too. A lot of us have alcoholism, alcoholic parents, narcissistic parents. Can you go back to that well?
No, never.
No.
I mean, I know that's horrible to say, and never out of a therapist's mouth. 'Cause people are like, you're supposed to have compassion for everybody. I do have compassion.
Yeah.
It is born out of trauma. Also, it's like a false sense of self. But if they don't want to get better, which why would they when they think they're amazing?
Right.
And narcissists tend to do something that people don't realize, which is like suck energy off of people because they have their source, like a source of
Their
love.
supply.
Their supply of affection and infatuation. And they'll like love bomb you, or they're like, you're so amazing and beautiful and I love everything about you, blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as they feel that they've got your attention and your love,
Oof.
then it's like, it's a whole different person, because then they can use and abuse you in a ton of different ways. I mean, it's just really not healthy.
Terrifying.
It is. And if it's a parent, that makes it really difficult, because we can spend our whole lives feel like we're walking on eggshells
Yes.
with everybody, trying to please other people. We can be, more likely to be in codependent relationships. It's just really hard.
Of course.
But therapy helps. And if alcoholics, go to Al-Anon, because alcoholism is its own form of narcissism, I think.
It is. Absolutely.
It's all about me.
Yeah.
I don't care about you. I'm trying to get my next thing. Addiction is like all about you and getting your fix and stuff. So.
Oh, and it is brutal if that's your parent. And especially when you're an adult, like if you do have children, you really have to focus on your own children and you and healing yourself. And
Yeah.
the narcissistic parent doesn't understand that either.
No, and they'll do the lashing out, and then if that doesn't work, then they'll do the silent treatment.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work,
Go
then they'll
ahead.
try other manipulative tactics to try to get a rise out of you.
Yeah.
Like saying other people are saying things about you, passive aggressive stabs, all sorts of
Sure.
stuff.
And it's such a vicious cycle with a narcissistic parent, because you'll, you have to set boundaries if you can even attempt to have a relationship with a narcissist. And what they love to do is what?
Manipulate.
Right. And break those boundaries.
Break those boundaries. They're like, what? This doesn't apply to me.
Right.
This only applies to everybody else.
So if you say to your narcissistic parent, hey, guess what? Christmas dinner is 5:00 on December 24th.
Oh, they'll show up at 6:30.
100%.
And then be like,
100%.
You started without me? How dare you?
How dare
I'm
you.
so offended.
Right.
You're such a disrespectful whatever they decide
You
to
are
say.
a piece of shit.
You asshole, you
Yeah,
bitch.
You're out. And then
All the things I've done for you.
Oh, my life. What a well, see, and I know I'm not
hard.
doing any of this to my kids. I'm
No.
not. I'm nowhere near this bad.
No, not
My
at all.
Life.
Ugh.
Good Lord. Okay.
So yeah, don't see your mom yet. Maybe see her in therapy, just to wrap that up.
That's
so
a
she doesn't
great
forget.
suggestion. Yes.
And I know it's
Perhaps.
hard. I know it's hard.
It's-
You got to grieve.
And I will tell you, especially losing a mother It is, and so many in society does not support cutting off your mother. I have had
No. Why
so
is
many
that?
people like, what? It's your mom. I'm like, yeah, but if your mom was a really abusive vampire, like,
Yeah. Would you want to hang out with them?
no.
Yeah. And giving them access to you, you give them an inch, they want to take a mile. Like you just can't.
It's Grey Gardens all the way. My mom wanted Grey Gardens with me, like just the two of us
Oh, no.
together
Oh,
in a
no.
symbiotic, parasitic,
Ugh.
not even symbiotic, parasitic. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's like,
a fucking nightmare. Okay. Here's a great question about boundaries. This is Megan from Florida. I have a question for you and Katie about setting boundaries between my husband and my mother-in-law.
Ooh.
She and my sister-in-law live together, but the two of them do not get along. So she calls my husband and expects him to be the mediator between the two of them anytime they have a problem. It is super stressful for him, and he hates being put in the middle of their fights. I've suggested that they go see a counselor together, but they don't think it's necessary. Any advice on how to get them to work their shit out like adults instead of relying on my husband? Thanks, Jeans. Megan.
What an unhealthy family dynamic.
To say the least.
We live together, but we hate each other. And then my son has to come in and fix it.
That sounds great.
Super healthy. First of all, your husband, it's hard because you can't tell your husband what to do. I mean, you can, but he's not.
You can't,
He'll have to still decide to do it.
Yeah.
He can't go over there anymore to do that, period.
He has to say, I'm out.
You guys are on your own. This is your relationship. It's not my responsibility. Boom. Line, period. Done.
Yeah.
And he has to hold that line. So it's just boundaries. And then if
So sorry to interrupt, but
No, I'm fine.
paradoxically, the boundaries need to be set between the husband and the family. Not, yeah. Okay. So go ahead. So
Yeah.
he's the one with the boundary issue. So
Well, yeah. I mean, they're enmeshed on their own, but that we can't make that better. If their relationship is shit, they have to work on that. The mother, daughter, in-law. But her husband has to just withdraw from it. And it's okay to say, like, I'm not going to engage in this. I won't be part of this.
yeah, it is
You
okay to say
that's
that.
completely reasonable. He's not even part of it. If they can't get it together on their own and talk it out like adults, then they need a mediator, like a real one.
Yeah.
Or therapist.
Yeah.
Pay somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is likely the family dynamic that's been put in place since.
I'm sure his dad did the same thing.
Oh, right. And now that maybe dad's out of the picture, now he steps in. Ay vey. So in reality, it sounds like the wife should be pissed at the husband for tolerating him letting this nonsense into their marriage. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, have a little compassion. That
Excuse
was a
me,
good one.
Katie. Thank you.
But have some compassion because he probably doesn't know any different.
He doesn't know
It's
any
comfortable.
different.
He's like, this is what my dad did, or this is what I've always done. We don't know. This
Right.
could have been going on since he was like 6 years old.
Ugh.
Like, knock it off. Okay, you be nice. You know, who knows? Family stuff, could be going on forever. So
Yeah.
talk to him about it. Get him in therapy. And he needs to lay some boundaries down and be fine with the fact that they can like unravel and be like, it's all your fault. No, I wasn't involved in that.
Yeah, it's not my problem. And like, who
I
wants
know.
to be a mediator between?
Nobody.
It's like such a horrible job.
So uncomfortable.
Don't make that shit my job.
I know.
All right. Okay, let's continue. Let's do a voicemail. We're gonna alternate, we said. Next question for Katie.
Hi, Mommy. I have a question for Katie Morton. I have a 16-month-old son. He's my first and only boy, and I'm wondering the proper way to deal with temper tantrums. I want to, comfort him and get on his level and help him through, but sometimes I really just need to ignore it. I want to know, like, the most productive way for him, how to help him. Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think it sounds like she's already kind of doing what I would tell her, which is
Lock him in the garage
exactly.
until he shuts the fuck up.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Totally. Put him in the cage. I'm just kidding.
That'll learn you. Okay.
First, trying to get him early on, if you can catch him before it's like full blown, because we all know there's like these levels of tantrums.
Yeah.
Where the first is just like, you can tell it's building and they're frustrated and agitated and making weird noises. And you could say something like, are you feeling mad about whatever? Is it this? What's going on? How are you feeling? You can check in with them, try to get them to communicate. That can sometimes diffuse it. But if it's full blown, you can't try to talk them through a full blown tantrum when they're just screaming. And that's okay to just put them in a place where they can't hurt themselves and let them scream it out.
Yeah.
That's okay too. There's nothing, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, I'm a bad parent because I let him cry it out. Or no, sometimes you can't talk sense to a 3-year-old that's throwing a turn. Hers is like, what'd you say? 18?
17 or 18,
17,
17 months. No, especially at that age.
So little.
They're just going to spiral sometimes, and you must let the spiral go until they are calm, and then you can talk through.
Exactly. That must have been exhausting for you. You know, that it was hard for mom to see you acting like that. What was it because of this? Yeah.
Right. Can you guess? Yeah. Was it because?
Because they're too little to sometimes know. So it's easier sometimes for you to guide a little bit. As they get older, they'll be able to kind of remember that. But sometimes tantrums, kids like don't have any memory of like what it really was. They just know they felt like mad and bad because they don't always know how to connect that. Think about like emotional maturity is a huge step. And they don't know. But sometimes in it, if you catch it early, like when they're 3, you can probably have a conversation like before, like, was that upsetting? Are you mad because your brother took your toy? Because usually that's something like that, you know? You mad because I knocked down your perfect setup of something? That's usually what it is, something. And, you know, we have to share. I know that's hard.
Yeah.
And let them talk about it.
Yeah. My son, my younger is pretty great. Like, he's such a happy dude. Like, he wakes up happy, and his form of a tantrum is just like, and then it's done. And he's
nice.
Pretty, like, his temperament is just like, I'm like, are you sure you're my kid? Like, you're so awesome. Like, do we get the right embryo at the bank? Like, and then the older one is just the complete different
They're
temperament.
always like that, yeah.
Yeah, where he's like, like he raged. Now it's 4. It's like, it's
3
gone.
was a rough year for you, I'm sure.
Woo, girl. Let me tell you.
You like aged 5 years in that year?
I did. Look at this face. Yeah. Holy mackerel. But I also, Leah, you see it coming. And also try to stave off the tantrums. Is it hunger related?
Yep.
Don't let your kid get too hungry or tired. With Ellis, it was like, this kid has to nap. If he doesn't, the next half of our day is fucked, you guys.
Because he's ruined. He can't deal.
Yeah, and people would be like, just put him in the car. Let's go to the mall at 3. And I'm like,
you don't understand.
Not with this one.
No. You want to take him for the rest of the day? You can deal with this shit.
Yeah. And I'd be so militant, like, I got to go. We got to get Ellis home for the nap. And people would be like, God, you need to chill. I'm like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah. You're like, I'm pay for this. And
fuck you. You stay here and have fun. But with Juju, he's so easygoing. He's like, whatever, I didn't nap. I'm cool. So different.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I just nicked something over my own. What else are you going to say about this?
But the halt is a good thing to hungry, angry, lonely, tired.
Oh, that's good.
It's a check-in. And it's like, stop.
Say
and
it
we
again.
should do that. Halt.
Hungry,
angry, lonely, tired.
Lonely. I've not heard that one.
Well, sometimes kids want a hug.
Oh.
You know, and it works for adults too. It's actually something part of the DBT therapy I was talking about earlier, the dialectical behavior therapy. It's like part of how we can better manage how we feel is you check in first. Am I hungry? Am I angry? Am I lonely? Am I tired? And if you can be like, no, those are all fine, then you can proceed. So it works with toddlers really well.
So I never thought of lonely. How interesting. Greg Fitzsimmons said something great on this show once. He said, when your children are acting the worst, it's when they actually
need you the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. But that's that lonely component. Like I said, sometimes kids just want their back rubbed or whatever it is you do for them. Like sometimes my grandma used to play with my hair.
I love that.
And I love that.
That's my
and to
fave.
this, I still love that, right?
Yeah.
And kids are the same. Like if you scratch their back, they might just want that. They might want to just be held or nuzzle, like snuggle a little bit.
Yeah.
Do that. Try that out too.
You ever tried the tingler? That thing that
Oh,
you
yes,
put on
the thing.
Oh, that one is the best. I would take that any day
Same.
over like chocolate or candy.
Yep.
Okay, so let's do a written one. This one's interesting. I don't know if you've dealt with people with Asperger's much.
Yeah.
Big question here. My boyfriend and I have been together for almost 2 years. My boyfriend has high functioning Asperger's. Honestly, not sure if I spelt that right. Anyways, he's not someone that shows love very well. What's a good way to understand his love language?
You have to talk to them. A lot of times they might not even know either. That's the thing. I mean, it depends on the person, but on the spectrum of autism spectrum disorder, which is what we call it now, not just Asperger's or autism, because it is a spectrum. So meaning he doesn't have a lot of the symptoms most people do. That's what people mean by high functioning. So he might struggle to make eye contact a little bit, but he gets it, but he doesn't read the cues maybe normally, or doesn't know how to show you affection in the way that you want, it can be kind of tricky. And so I think if you talk to him about it and you try out different things, and then he can tell you like, oh, I liked that better, or that made me feel loved. Like, I think you're going to have to be a little more curious with him because he might not know.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Where a lot of people, you and I, be like, oh, I like this better.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But he might not know because they're not as, I mean, it depends on the person because he might be like, oh, I know. You can ask him and he can tell you. But he might not recognize that feeling for what it is and know what it is. And so he can talk about how it feels to you and why you like acts of service. For instance, that's mine. So I'm like, if I come home and my husband has like made dinner and cleaned
That's
the house.
huge for me.
Oh,
Acts of service. That's exactly what I like. I don't like stuff.
no,
I don't give
don't
a
buy
rip.
me stuff. No.
Yeah.
And I don't need you to be like, you're so beautiful.
I don't
I'm like,
give a rip. Yeah.
yeah, it's not exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, but you cook something for me?
Oh,
God damn.
or
The
we like get to
thoughtfulness.
share in a project together. Like we get to do something, an activity, shared activities. That's my other one. But anyway,
Fun.
so yeah, so try it out with him, talk it out with him and see what he says.
Shared activity. I like a shared activity.
Yeah.
So does Tom. Tom likes.
That's
Tom's
Sean.
a stuff person though.
Oh, really?
He
Funny.
loves a gift. That's how I know I can win his heart. Just a nice
nice, thoughtful
and
gift.
and a beach.
Yeah, I mean, men are physical touch a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
He needs that physical touch.
How do you feel about the quarterly blowjob, which is my friend Leanne Kreischer and I deduced that we give our husbands about a quarterly beach. Is that too little?
I mean, every relationship's different. How often are you having sex?
Oh, every week.
Oh, then you're fine.
Really?
Quarterly beach is good.
Okay. Let's talk about marital loves.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't want to say what's the norm, but I guess we've 2 small children. What's expected? What do you think is an average?
What's an average, or what should we strive for?
What should be great? What would be great?
I think sex 2 to 3 times a week is a good. You said to strive for. What's the goal?
2 to 3 times.
I know, almost every other day.
Wait, we didn't have that kind of time without kids.
Oh, really?
No. Well, we both travel for work.
Oh,
so,
well, and if you're not in the same
yeah.
place, that's totally different. But this is. I'm sorry to tell you. I'm sorry.
Is that even doable?
I mean, it is. You just got to pencil it in.
2 to 3 times. Okay. So
But that's a goal. That doesn't mean
that's-
that,
Yeah.
I think the usual based on like my friendships and people I know is like twice a month.
Twice a month. See, now that Tom would
too-
not, we would not.
Oh, that wouldn't work for us either.
No way.
No.
Tom would be a raging bear, as would I.
Yeah,
I'd
Sean would be like grabby, like walking through the house. I'd be like, I don't have time for this.
Well, I noticed that Tom needs a milking when he gets grumpy, when he starts grumbling about his normal chores.
Oh.
Like
Too much evil juice racked up in his.
Yep.
It's so funny.
That dirty sperm in there. It's like poisoning his brain and his personality.
think clearly.
Yeah. So I'm like, I got to milk this bear. So let's say there's somebody listening who would like to broach the topic of more sex with their partner. Granted, a lot of my listeners have multiple kids, small kids. It's a time suck. And hey,
And energy. You're tired.
and who like, I have to tell you that when I'm around my kids, I don't feel horny at
Of course
all.
not. You shouldn't.
I hope not.
That's protective.
Yeah. Like I'm such in mom mode.
Yeah.
The switch is so in other direction.
Well, and if you're breastfeeding, a lot of my friends have told me like just feeling like something's on you all the time, touching you. Your body's not even your own. I totally get that.
Milky tits and sex is the grossest for me.
I can't even. Yeah. I can't. Like, and what way to feel even less sexy than normal? Like, just no thanks.
When you're somebody's food source, it's the most
Yeah.
maternal and functional you can be as a mammal.
Right.
So you're not like sexy. So okay, so how does a because mostly it's men who write to me asking about how do I get my wife to want to be sexual with me more? How do I ask for more sex, more
her.
beach?
Woo her.
Oh.
It's not really about asking because you can't be like, hey, that's never gonna work. I mean, from the woman's standpoint, you're gonna
Yeah.
have to woo us a little.
And what does that entail?
That could be. It depends on your love language.
Oh.
So like, if Sean really wanted to have sex with me, he better like make dinner. He'll clean the house. He'll like fold my laundry up or do some shit around. And I'm like, ooh, that's amazing. That's my love language.
How does he know that? How did
We've been together 11 years and we
I've
talk
been
about
together
it.
like 15. Tom would never figure that out. Tom literally, pretty much, Tom just grabs me and pushes my head down or like says something vulgar, and that's how it starts. Like, I can't believe this. He makes dinner and does all this shit for you.
And then if for him, it's like if he likes physical touch, so I'll like scratch his back or
So-
like
and he knows
kiss on
that's
him during the day or
signal.
stuff.
Oh, I mean, that's his love language. That's your love language.
So if
He's
you
affection.
speak their love language during the day, like I'm telling you, probably 8 out of 10 times is going to lead to sex, unless something happens, obviously, because there's things that we can't, the kid gets sick, cries.
Yeah,
something.
you're not doing it when your kid's puking.
No.
So okay. So how do you figure out somebody's love language? And let's talk about that some more. What are they?
There, you can take quizzes online actually for free. So do those. But I'm trying to. So there are 5 of them, and there's gifts. So Tom likes the gifts. A thoughtful gift. Acts of service. That's mine.
Yeah.
Clean the house. That's yours too. Make
love.
something for. It's amazing. Love it. Right.
Yeah.
I went and ran all those errands for you. Oh, sweet Jesus.
Yeah. Beach City. Errands.
Right.
Oh my fuck. I know when Tom is like, I'll take that to FedEx. I'm like, I love you.
You're
and
like, come back quickly.
I tell him that, yeah. Or when he takes out the trash, I'll do positive reinforcement. I'll be like,
100%.
that really turns me on the way you take that trash out, Tom. Yeah. Okay.
I love when you unload that dishwasher.
Yeah. So there's service,
Gifts, acts of service, shared activities.
There's like bowling together.
Yeah, Sean and I go snowboarding, or if you like to go walking around town, or
I
don't
love
know,
that.
something you like to do together. Physical touch
Yes.
and words of affirmation.
Tom likes that one too. Yeah.
Baby, like, you look so hot in that shirt, or you did
He
that so
loves
great,
that
or you're
shit.
so funny.
But men love praise.
Yeah, but it depends on the
Everyone
man.
does. Yeah.
Some guys are acts of service. You just don't know.
Oh man.
Depends on the person.
But who doesn't like a plate of food put in front of them?
Nobody.
That they had nothing to do with.
I know.
It's the
It's
best.
a beautiful thing. That's why like Grubhub and Eat24 is so fucking popular.
I know. I live on that stuff. All right. So, okay, that's really good to know. So figure out their love language
And just do it more.
do it more,
And then you'll do it more.
and you'll do it more.
Hey.
Because then that person's happier. You're not grumbling about, when your needs are met, you're so stoked. Like, you're like,
Yeah.
let's fuck. Why not?
Why not? You did all that nice stuff for me. I love you so much.
Yeah.
So it's better than asking, because asking for it, you're going to get,
Yeah.
I just did all this shit today and I'm tired and I don't even have time to talk to you about that. I have a feeling that would be the
What about
pushback.
alcohol? Give her a little bit of wine.
Yeah.
Loosen those inhibitions.
Yeah, just a little bit, not too much.
Not too much. No, that's not fun.
No.
Just a little.
Just like a
something.
glass or two.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Very good. Exciting. All right, let's take a minute to thank our sponsor. And I know a lot of you email and you're like, Christina, your skin looks so good. How do you do it? I'm going to share with you one of my big show business secrets, Luminous Silk Airbrush System. They've got the 4-in-1 airbrush foundation. I'm going to tell you how to do it. So, when you get traditional makeup, traditional foundation, and it gets blotchy or it gets into the creases of your wrinkles and it ends up making you look a lot older. The secret to the Luminous Silk Airbrush System is that it comes with an airbrush. It's very little and it can fit nicely on your makeup table. And you have the airbrush foundation and they match your shade. They have 18 different shades. It's very simple. I actually like to mix and match 2 different shades together. Because, you get a suntan or whatever, and you just, you put it on your face, you start here, and it's so smooth and silky and light. You look natural. It doesn't look heavy. I highly recommend you give it a try. You don't need to be on, YouTube to have nice makeup. And it's good for everyday natural wear, which is what I like. I don't like to look cakey and phony. So try it out. The Luminous Silk Airbrush System with skin-loving Silk 4-in-1 Airbrush Foundation. What's the 4-in-1? You got your moisturizer, your anti-aging serum, your concealer, and your foundation all in one little bottle. It's pretty amazing. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee. 18 shades to choose from, and the Luminous company guarantees a 100% shade match. So Luminous Air has a limited time offer for you right now. Go to trysilk.com/WMMA to get 60% off your Luminous Silk 4-in-1 airbrush system. That's trysilk.com/WMMA. Get smoother, fuller, and more natural looking foundation coverage. Visit trysilk.com/WMMA today. Okay, let's do a voicemail. Yeah.
Hey, Mommy Christina, Water Champ. I just have a question for you and Katie that'll be on the show. My wife is actually pregnant currently, and I have a 1.5-year-old daughter. And my wife and my mother don't get along, and it's come to a point where my wife is really just refusing to have my mother watch or even come see my daughter. I just don't feel that it's fair to my mom. I've got kind of a love-hate relationship with her. Christina, I know you can kind of go along with that there. But just have more questions about it and just trying to figure it out in my head and kind of what to do in this situation and how to kind of bridge the gap and help my wife be more comfortable with my mom being around our child currently and our new child that's going to be coming. Again, my name is Keith. Thank you.
That's rough.
So much.
I'm sorry, Keith.
I know.
And he's in the middle, and I feel bad for him because that sucks.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure his mom is like, "Meow, meow, 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 why? And I can't see the baby. Brr, 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 brr." And his wife is like, fuck your mom. Meow. And he's like, oh, my life.
Fuck your mom, yeah. It's the worst.
But that's hard to be in the middle.
Yeah. It's tough, though, because don't you think, too, there's a natural struggle when you get married between the mother-in-law and the daughter. I mean, sorry, the daughter-in-law. Like, that's a natural relationship that needs to be smoothed out, worked on, blah, blah, blah. Because
and built over time.
Yeah,
right?
it's normal. I mean, okay, so anyway, what do we tell this guy?
This is going to be tough, but you're going to have to talk to both parties and tell them you don't want to be in the middle and that they're going to have to try to talk and work it out if either of them wants to, like, you have to remove yourself. And I know that's really unnatural because he's like, well, she doesn't want to talk to her and she doesn't want to talk to her. Yeah. But he can't make them get better. Do you know what I mean? You can't make them smooth things over when he's like, what can I do to get out of it? Like, stop talking about it with them. And if your mom tries to bring it up, be like, you have to talk to her.
That's smart.
I can't be the go-between, because then what's going to happen potentially is both of them will be mad at him. And that sucks for him when all he was trying to do is make peace. He's like, oh, shit. So, yeah.
They're both going to be mad at him.
And I get it. I mean, depending on what the mom did or daughter-in-law did, I don't know how it worked out, but probably one of them needs to adult up and apologize.
Yeah.
And the other one needs to adult up and apologize, and then they both need to forgive each other and move the fuck on.
Yeah, and also when there are little kids, and you want grandparents if they can be,
unless they're toxic, and
yes,
I mean, who knows what's going on, but as long as it's just like a disagreement, like, oh, you did that and I didn't like the way you talked to my child, who knows what it could be. There's a zillion things.
Yeah, that's an easy, sorry, dude.
Yeah, didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Didn't think it'd be taken that way. I'm sorry.
That's so true. An apology goes a long way, like an acknowledgement of what you did, and then cupcakes. I think that smooths over.
Perfect.
It really does. People get stoked when they get free stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Really,
the food, remember, that comes in front of you without you having to do anything. It was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think so. You know what I do to butter up my mother-in-law when she comes over for Christmas? First of all, I'm like, aren't I like your best daughter-in-law? Like, I'm the best out of the ones you have because I'm the only one. I know. And I'm like, I buy her favorite pastries. They're in the house when she shows up. I get her wine because I want to keep her happy.
Yes.
Managing.
That's very good. Very good.
Uh-huh.
I like nest for her a little bit. You get it all ready.
Yeah.
Oh, that's thoughtful.
I spoil the shit out of her at the top. That's a great hint, tip for you daughter-in-laws. If you spoil the in-laws at the top.
Yep.
Come on. What are they fucking complaining about? You got the Coke and whatever in the fridge that they like. Their snacks are there. It shows that you're thoughtful.
Yep.
You thought about them. You consider them. Anyway, I'm perfect. That's all I'm trying to say. Here we go.
Same. I do the nesting too. I'll be like, I got the Coke Zero you like, even though I don't drink that shit.
I don't drink that shit.
I got
but it's you. Take me outside. How about that? How about that? Because it makes them happy that you thought about their needs. In advance.
Exactly, and your house is like ready for them.
See,
you're welcome here.
That's big for your in-laws, man. Find out what they like. Put that shit in your house.
Yep.
Make them feel wanted. Because I think that is the point of contention with mother-in-law and daughter-in-law too. It's like, what's my role? Because mom has been the woman in his life, so to speak, for
Yeah,
however
but now you're
long.
the woman in her grandchildren's life.
100%. And you control access to the grandchildren. So it's a sticky sitch.
It is. And I could see why the mom is upset because they're going to have another.
Right.
And she's like, I'm not going to get to see these kids. She's freaking out. And that's something that I do have to caution the daughter-in-law on is don't use the children as a chess.
No.
Like you just can't put that in that. It's not okay to use them to manipulate the grandma.
No.
You have to work it out adult to adult, figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And if you can, like I said, as long as she's not toxic, it's not, if one of them's a narcissist or something.
Toxic meaning, let's go through the list.
Yeah.
Who's toxic?
It could be even just someone who's super passive aggressive, won't communicate like an adult. Someone who's a narcissist, someone who has borderline personality disorder, won't get help for it. Anything like that. It really enmeshed with your husband.
Abuse.
Yes, drugs, alcohol.
Right. These people who are just really not together. They
Exactly.
don't need to be. And then what kills me is people go, but they need grandparents. No, they don't.
Not ones like that.
Yeah.
Have your friends be their funky aunts, grandparents. Have other people in their life.
100%.
You don't have to have grandparents.
You don't have
to be healthy and
I
happy.
never fucking knew anybody. I knew my one grandma who was crazier than anything, and it was horrible. I wish I would never known her. Anyway, okay. So let's go. Sorry. So we're still on family. I love this. I'm a 30-year-old stepmother of 2 teenage girls. Having a blended family is the hardest thing I've ever done, dealing with a nightmare of the kid's biological mom. I run into so many issues where I don't know how to handle. From punishment of the kids to feeling worthless, even though I'm pretty much full-time mommy since the girls out with my husband and I 95% of the time, meaning the girls are with the husband and her 95% of the time. I feel so unappreciated and have to be the strict mom because their bio mom comes over and just gets to be their best friend and sabotages our rules constantly. Do you have any advice on how to handle things without me blowing up and without me stressing myself out constantly? Any advice? Thank you. And that's an interesting question on step parenting. That is so tough.
It is really hard. In an ideal situation, you as co-parents could talk about it and be on the same page, but it sounds like, I don't know if 5% of the time. I mean, she just comes in and gets to be like, gifts for everybody. You get to stay up as late as you want. Eat all the candy you want. Wow. I think, so you can try to talk to her about it. That's the ideal.
Woman to woman.
Yes. And just say, I love that you want to start positive. I call it a hug and roll. So you're like, I love that you come and you spend time with the kids. You're so great with them. They get excited to see you. It's so great you can be in their life. And then we start to roll. So then you're like, but it's hard for us then to come back if we keep them up. Start with one thing at a time, your biggest gripe. So like you let them stay up really late and then it's hard for them to get up for school the next day or I don't know, whatever it is. Do you mind trying to keep their bedtime, between like 7:30, 8:30 or whatever, 8 and 9? See what she says. See if you can have an actual conversation about it that's productive. If you can't, then it's more about how you talk to the kids about it. Or you can just say fun mom, I don't know, you want to call not fun mom. That's too nice. I think it's more like, your mom, your bio mom's coming in town. You know how she likes to really get excited. Remember that only happens with her for this little bit of time. It's kind of just almost like in the same way my mom would be like, grandma will make you whatever you want, but when you come home, that's not how it is, kind of stuff.
Like establishing that that's not reality.
Yes. This is a special little sliver of time that
it's
you
like
get.
Vacation.
It is. And then we got to come back to reality. So remember, you have to be up at 7. So when you get tired, you got to go to bed.
Yeah.
I know they're kids and they might not. Depends on their ages.
Yeah, but you're
stuff.
still doing the routine.
You're starting you're letting them know, it's going to be all fun and games, but tomorrow, this is just only when Suzanne comes to town or, whatever it is. I don't know.
And really, I'm assuming it's got to be hard to speak to the bio mom without
I'd assume
contempt. We are just like, bitch, I know you're not doing
You're not doing anything. You're not here for any of the hard stuff, the actual rearing of children. You're just like,
good time.
Try to do the hug and roll, compliment her on things, make her feel important, and then tell her and it's hard, when they won't get up for school in time or they have tummy aches from all the junk food or I don't know.
Right. If you present like a logical, I'm assuming consequence, like, hey, dude, if you keep them up late, they can't wake up the next morning. If you feed them crap, they're going to be in pain. Like it's logical.
Yeah. But. So, would you, and it's just asking for one thing at a time. Otherwise she'll feel bombarded. I know.
Gosh, that's why I'm staying with Tom forever. I was like, I don't, you know what I mean?
deal with that, I can't. Yeah,
I would. Some
I'd lose my
20-year-old
mind.
bitch gets my children and
mm-mm.
my dog.
I'd lose my mind.
And my house. I'd be like, fuck no.
Yeah, I'd be
you
like,
stay miserable with wife number one.
right? You already did this, so you're gonna be stuck.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm gonna ruin your life.
Yeah.
This is not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. I ruined my body for your 2 kids.
Right?
You are not letting some fucking bitch take my life. I am the bottom bitch. Okay, so we did our voicemails. Let's do one last written question. Oh, this one seems interesting.
Okay.
Newlyweds. My
Ooh.
name is Hailey. I don't know. I'm 26. I live in Oregon, and I was recently married December 28th, 2019. Oh my gosh.
Really new.
Congratulations. Yeah. My husband and I have been together for over 2 years. I'd be lying if I said I don't feel different now that we're married. Everyone told me that the first year is the hardest, and boy, am I believing that right now. Not even 2 days after the happiest day of my life, we had a major blowout of a fight and continued to fight the rest of that week. Things are back to normal now, but I'm looking for advice. I've never had good examples of marriage growing up, but I love this man more than I can even try to explain. I have a 6-year-old son from a previous relationship, and he is a better father to him than his actual dad. I know how lucky I am, but I still get so pissed off at my husband. He's so annoying sometimes, and I'm asking for advice on what to do in those moments to keep my cool. I want to be a great wife because when my husband isn't being annoying, he's pretty freaking amazing. Thank you so much for this podcast. It makes me feel normal. Your listener, I think it's Haley.
I would say Haley. We said Hailey. I'm
Hailey.
pretty sure it's Haley.
Haili. I've never seen it.
Oh, L-I?
Yeah.
Probably Haley. Just no E-Y.
Okay.
Okay. A couple of things.
Yeah. Here, do you want to?
Everybody's annoying.
Everybody's annoying.
But you have to, the best advice my mom ever gave me was be careful with how you pick your battles with your spouse. I love Sean, but I'm annoyed by him every day.
Yeah.
But I just don't tell him.
Yeah.
Because how's that going to help? And so when she said, what did she say? Something about like she doesn't want to, to keep her cool. I want to be a great wife, but he's so annoying. Everybody's annoying. You just have to like in your head be like, and you just go about your day. I mean, I feel like that's marriage. Yeah.
90% is just being like, I'm just tuning that out.
Right.
And I'm not going to acknowledge that one.
I've asked you to do that 5 times, but I'm just going to pretend I didn't. And then pick the things that are really important, because all those little things like, oh, I asked you to take the trash out, or, oh, you shaved your face and the hair's all over the bathroom. Like you just shakes like a wet dog or some shit. It's crazy. But I don't. It's like,
yeah.
In my head, I'm like, and I'm like, okay, hi, honey. So you're going to have to learn to do that, because those things aren't important. But the things that are important will be like clear communication, intimacy, understanding each other, being on the same page. Like those are things you build over time, and nitpicking is only going to erode your relationship and make it worse. And so, yes, he's annoying. I hear it. But by and large, he's a great guy. You love him. He's great to your son. So just talk to your friends about the annoying stuff and talk within your own head. And then pick the things that are a really big deal. Like, hey, you need to help out when we clean the house together. This should be something we do together, because we dirty it together, we clean it together. You know, whatever the things are that are really important to you as part of a shared life, say those things. What do you think?
100%. You have to pick and choose your battles as a married person. I agree. I have whiskers in my sink. I have shit splattered on the inner rim of the toilet, the top, which I don't even know how he gets shit on the top of the toilet. Underwear on my floor, dirty chonies. I mean, he's a bear.
Yeah.
But after 15 years, I'm like, is it worth me fucking with him on it? No. So you know what I actually recommend for most married people? And we had this when we were broke as a joke.
A housekeeper.
100%.
Amen.
100%.
It saved us from so many fights, because I don't have to deal with all that weird shit.
I'm telling you, ladies, if you don't want to complain about dishes and garbage and all this shit,
have a
pay
housekeeper.
a professional.
Just don't go out to eat once. Pays for it. Poof.
Yeah.
I'm telling it is. I 100% agree with that.
Yes. And because what I do now, if Tommy annoys me on that, like the hair and the thing, I go, well, can this problem be outsourced?
Yes.
I often go, well, let's see, he doesn't do blah, blah, blah. Can that problem be outsourced? Can I throw money at that?
Yeah. like
great.
like Instacart or
like,
Costco
all
delivers.
day.
Oh,
all day.
yes. Because I'm like, why do I always have to do this? And he will say like, we don't have any groceries and complain.
Oh, that makes me nuts.
I'm like, I'm gonna have somebody else do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired.
Or you wanted that thing? Well, guess what? There's this app called Instacart, sweetie.
Yep. And you can put whatever in and just boom.
Boom.
Pick your time and it'll come here and be put away. Poof.
Yeah.
I agree. And that is because there's always going to be those things. And otherwise you'll just, I mean, imagine on that flip side being him thinking that you're doing fine. Because sometimes when, especially with Sean, because he is actually very clean in a lot of ways, but sometimes some things just bother me. And he'd be like, oh, I thought I was doing so well. And I'm like, oh, and I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
So it's like, imagine that side of him feeling like you're like, and then who wants to fuck that person? Nobody.
Well, that's another thing I was thinking too, is that when you're fucking and your relationship is good, those things don't bother you as much.
You don't care about those things.
You don't care about the laundry
stuff on the floor or the it's not that important.
It's not, and that's how you know people aren't happy in the marriage. If they're, can I tell you my worst? This is my worst thing. I hate it so much when you go out with a couple, and then the wife or the husband, whatever, is talking shit about the other person.
I hate that. I
makes
hate that.
Me crazy.
First of all, I feel bad for the other person.
Of course.
And second of all, I'm like, keep your dirty laundry at home. We came out to have a good time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
This one with his whiskers in the bowl, and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to hear your fucking marital problems.
I know. It's like, that's what couples counseling's for.
Yeah. Well, just and like putting and belittling the partner in front of company, or just in general, like
in front of anybody else. Like, why would you do that? And how icky does the other person feel?
Yeah.
Just like, oh, I'm just a piece of shit.
Yeah. And that's not going to make that other person want to be better if you're putting them down.
No.
It's so emasculating. Because my mother did that to my stepdad all the time, and it would just make me cringe. Like, bitch, why don't you care about the good stuff he's doing? Like,
right?
He's good.
You have to notice all the good things and praise those things. Like, this person's a good father to her son from the previous marriage. Sounds like he treats her well.
Yeah.
He's just annoying. That's normal.
Yeah.
It's because now you're like, maybe it's shifted for her because now she's like, we're going to be together forever. And part of her is like, yay. And part of her is like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah. And figure out what it is that's really annoying. What is it?
Yeah.
What are those things? And if it's solved for, okay, I don't know. This is a wild example. Does he like read newspapers? I don't know why, because there's no newspapers anymore. Let's say that's his thing. He wakes up and he opens the New York Times and they're everywhere and it bothers you. Well, is there a corner of the house that you could make an office of his and make special? Hey, this is your reading corner, babe. Go do that there.
Yeah.
And now you're not annoying the whole family. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like make it special for him or some shit.
Yeah. No, but it's true. I remember I love Sex and the City. It's like my favorite show. And then
which character are you?
Oh, I don't know. I'm kind of bossy like Miranda, but also kind of like a Carrie, overthink things, make myself go crazy.
Oh my God, same. I'm kind of dykey like a Miranda. But I'm innocent like Charlotte in many ways.
Some ways. I like to be like a lady.
Yeah, same, yeah. Stupidest conversation we've had on the show. I love it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But I love, there's an episode where Harry moves in with Charlotte and he leaves his tea bags all over. And they're out to lunch and she's telling Samantha and all of them. She's like, I have a tea bag situation. Samantha's like, breathe through your nose. And she's like, no. Like he's leaving, if you tea bagging, look it up if you're curious what we're talking about. But they leave tea bags all over the house and they're staining things.
Yeah.
So she goes home and she's like, sweetie, I love you. But the tea bags, all over the house. I mean, and he's like, oh, I didn't think about it. And so sometimes you just have to communicate about the things that are really going to ruin things. Everybody has annoying shit they do that they don't realize they're single behavior.
Yeah.
Give him a minute to weed out the ones that he doesn't know he's doing and he can fix it. Yeah. And then outsource the rest.
Outsource that shit.
Yeah.
Good advice. Remember when Harry would sit naked?
Yes. On her white couch.
The best episode. I love that Harry character.
I love him so much.
I would say I'm more into him than Mr. Big. Mr. Big was very
I never
abusive.
really liked Mr. Big. I liked Aiden better.
I liked Aiden.
Harry was my favorite.
Mine
I would have
too.
dated Harry.
I would have married.
Yep. Harry's
Marry,
the one.
Kill. Yeah. I would marry Harry, the Jew lawyer. I loved him.
I kill Big.
Fuck Big. He's not good.
No. But maybe fuck Big. Maybe he is good.
Yeah, F Big.
No, maybe Steve.
I don't like
know.
Steve's
He's too weaselly.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah.
Aiden was a little too crunchy for me as well.
Yes, but he was nice. He was a good guy.
He was too nice.
Yeah, I'd walk all over him.
He's too like, babe, we need to feel the and I'm like, ugh, and his thumb rings
Oh
and
God,
shit.
and his
I'd be like,
turquoise.
yeah. So we have to do the only good one is Harry.
We would marry Harry.
But I like Big's look.
Same.
Aesthetically,
Very
he's
sexy.
my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't like his emotional abuse to Carrie.
No, in and out. What are you doing? Pick your side.
Okay, let's talk about this. Remember when he abandons her on their wedding day?
Yes.
Well, what could possibly justify this behavior? Is he a narcissist? What's I mean, have you ever heard of that even happening in real life?
No.
Yeah.
No, I have not heard of that happening. I'm trying to think of how I would classify Big. I don't know if he's so much, I mean, maybe he's a narcissist, but he doesn't seem to like, well, yeah, he pulls her in when he needs attention and he needs her. So maybe.
Oh.
Maybe.
Because Carrie has daddy issues.
She totally does.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe.
The unavailable, he's emotionally unavailable.
And that's attractive to her because it's normal.
Ugh.
I know.
That show was great.
It's such a good show.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for coming here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're amazing. People, go subscribe to Katie's channel. She has literally everything you can think of. This woman has talked about it. Buy her book, Are You Okay? I highly recommend that as well. Anything else, Katie, you want to plug? Twitter? You're on the gram.
Mean, I'm all over. Yeah. I like Instagram best for my personal stuff.
Oh,
but
I gotcha.
It's just for me. I just do it for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, YouTube's where it's at. That's every new video every Monday.
Exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And until next time, stay cool, moms. It's my catchphrase.
I like it.
Where my mom's at? Where my mom's wearing thongs, hitting bongs at? Raising kids, cleaning shits, need a long nap. Where my mom's